Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another edition of the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. We are on that day that everybody looks forward to. It's called Friday Eve in your phone books, but we call it a little something else, and we'll talk about what we call it in a little bit here. But we got a nice slate of sports for you, and what's going to happen is tomorrow you're going to go to work. You're going to go into the break room. You're going to go to the coffee machine, hit the Keurig, and the guy's going to talk to you about the show he saw last night. Then they're going to go to the spot where they got all the leftover food, and it's a day-old donut there that some guy that eats everybody else's lunch is going to be snacking on, and he's going to be talking with a mouthful of powdered donut to somebody about this show that he watched last night. And then there's going to be somebody else outside that just came in from smoking, saw somebody else and heard the conversation and wanted to talk about the show that they watched last night. And that show goes by one name and one name only. It's called the Thursday Night Throwdown. Yeah, baby. Let's go. Thursday.
Let's go on.
We got a quick look around the sports world for you. We're going to talk Masters. We're going to talk NBA. We're going to talk baseball. And I think that's it. No. Yeah, that's it. Whatever. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything. First and foremost, this is my guy, the gentleman Jack Carr. I'm the Midnight Rider, and we're joined by the PGA specialist, Keith Hodges. He was so nice to join us on short notice. Keith, thank you for your time. We hope you enjoy and have some fun with us. Jack, how you doing? Keith, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, gentlemen. Appreciate it. Happy to spend the evening with you guys, and let's get this thing kicked off, man. It was a beautiful day at the Masters. Weather was perfect. Right, scoring was plentiful. You can win this Masters. You can lose this Masters on Thursday. You can't win it on Thursday, but you can certainly lose it. And there's a couple guys that did that today. We'll get into that. That's Dustin Johnson, John Rahm's 3 over par. He's on the outside looking in with some weather coming in this weekend. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Koepka.
A tough ride for Koepka. I think he's 2 over. So yeah, it's going to be challenging for some of the big names in the golf world. So let's get into it. Happy to spend the evening with you guys, like I said.
Hey, you started off. You kicked the ball off. Let's stay right here. Last I saw, we got a new leader. Schefter was the leader early on, but that changed this evening with Justin Rose.
Yeah. Justin Rose started walking. Justin Rose is 44, 45 years old. I think this is fifth time leading the Masters after day one. So he's got some demons to overcome, guys, because he's been in this spot. He has won a U.S. Open, in the past, but he's got his hands full. He's going to sleep on this lead tonight, and we'll see how he handles the weather in the morning. He doesn't hit the ball long. He's not one of the longer guys, so if he can keep the ball in the fairway, that's going to be, it's going to be really his unlock, to shoot a good number tomorrow, because he's going to be hitting, 4 and 3 iron into greens, where Scheffler, Morikawa, DeChambeau, McIlroy going to be hitting 7 and 8 irons into those same greens. And he hits the ball about 30, 40 yards shorter than them boys.
So tell me, Keith, I know they've done a bunch of improvements and changes to the course there in Atlanta. What do you think? Is it better to be a short hitter at the Masters, or better to be a long hitter at the Masters?
Well, I think conditioned. I think what's most important, Jack, is to be able to hit the ball both ways. The fairways are relatively large at Augusta. The guys that can hit the draw and can hit the hook, can hit both of those shots and have that imagination in their game, are the guys that score well. Think Bubba Watson. He's won 2 Masters. He never busted a great before or after. He sprays the ball everywhere, right? But he shapes his golf ball, right? He can move it left to right. He can go around trees. There's, Augusta is, other than 2 holes, they're all either straight holes or dog leg lefts, right? So, but you have to be able to shape your ball at Augusta.
Well, let's talk about.
I remember Freddie Couples having a lot of success at the Masters later in his career. Yeah. That's why I asked you that question.
He had some success today.
Yeah, he had a lot of success today.
Love that course.
1 under par. Man's got a green jacket himself. So,
go
ahead.
No, I was gonna say, just back the Watson comment. Wasn't he one that was like in the brush on like a hole, and he hits the shot out of there to save par or whatever, and basically save his tournament a couple years ago, the one year he won it?
Well, that was a playoff against Louis Oosthuizen. That was on the first
Yeah.
playoff hole. He hit it about 50 yards right into the pine straw and hit a 180-yard slice about 18 feet from the hole and ended up winning his first green jacket. But
Okay.
he's a perfect example of a guy. You can spray the ball. The fairways are pretty large at Augusta, right? It's recovery. It's those 4 and 5 foot par putts, right? This isn't a regular golf tournament. These holes are on crowns. You know what I mean? They're not in valleys, most of the time. So that's really lag putting and short par putts are really how you're going to win this golf tournament this weekend.
Got you.
There's a lot of talk when it comes to the Masters. I hear a lot of people saying that the first and second timers aren't going to be the people that win this event. It's going to be somebody that's been here before, played it a lot, because you got to know where to land. And is that something that the crowns on the greens attribute to? Because if you put it too long, you're going right off the back end, and then too short, you're going uphill.
Yeah, I mean, that experience is huge. I tell you what they did today. So knowing that weather was going to come in this weekend, I don't think it's going to be rain out weather, but it's going to be wet. There's going to be mud on golf balls. Like, those experienced guys are going to be able to manage those types of situations better. But they really utilized some new pins today that they haven't showcased. That's the first thing I looked at when I woke up this morning, was where the pin placements were, and I saw they were in places that I had never really. I mean, we know where they're going to be Sunday, but on Thursday, the grounds crew or the management people of Augusta, they were on some corners today, and when people are up on the wrong side of the hole, they really paid the price.
Okay.
Since we're already around in, did you have coming in? I know we all bet a little bit. Did you have any action on anybody, or did you have a thought of who you think might win this?
Yeah, so I am a gambling man, and I do have a DK lineup with my boys. So looking at all the numbers and just sort of the recent history of the last 3 or 4 years, with stroke save putting, stroke saved 80 yards in, everything for me pointed to Morikawa, Colin Morikawa.
I like him.
So yeah, I like him a lot. He didn't, I think he shot even par today or 1 under. He's still in the mix. Obviously Scheffler. I mean, I was listening to his round on the radio. He had like 1 shot all day that wasn't solid or point, and he shot 4 under par. So Scotty's going to do Scotty things. Ludwig Oberg, you talk about someone that's new. That's only his second time playing Augusta. He finished second last year. He checks every box for me. He looks the part. Go ahead.
What about this Connors guy? I don't know the name, the guy you just mentioned, and I didn't recognize that Connors guy.
Connors is sort of a journeyman, PGA player. He's Canadian, if I'm not mistaken. He plays he's got a nice game, keeps it in front of him. My hunch is he'll probably pull back some if history kind of repeats itself with him. He has won a couple tournaments in his Canadian Open, I want to say maybe last year. So he's a nice golfer. So he wouldn't be up there if he wouldn't be playing in this tournament if he wasn't. But I feel like the guys on the top of that leaderboard, is the way the weather's predicted this weekend, is I think our winner's going to come from that group. Really
you don't think the weather's going to permit someone to make that run on Saturday, Sunday morning type of thing?
I do. I think somebody will throw a low number. I think if you're 2 over or more, right, I think you're maybe 3. You're really going to have a long way to go, because the quality's just too good. Oberg, Scheffler, DeChambeau, Hatton, Jason Day. It's nice to see him playing well. He shot 2 under today.
Yeah.
So he's been in some nice form lately. Batia shot 2 under. He birdied the last 3 holes. I watched that just before we went on air here. The lefty, he's real lanky, long swing, really nice game. He's really got great world-class hands, around the green with the putter in his hands for sure.
Gotcha.
Jack, did you pick anybody for this, Jack?
If I would have picked, I probably would have been somewhere in the and neither of them are doing well. I was thinking Straka or Koepka and then again, I was hoping to see something out of Bubba, but I think Bubba ended up -1 today.
Watson?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
I got it right here in
Yeah,
front of me.
Bubba shot 1 under. Koepka shot 2 over. And Straka, Straka was a very popular pick this weekend.
I know.
I think he shot 6 over. Yeah, he shot 6 over. Sepp Straka shot 6 over. So
That's
again, he lost the tournament today. Lucas Glover,
him and Horschel.
Yeah, I actually had him in my DK lineup. Even Wyndham Clark shot 4 over. And I was disappointed by that. He got off to a really bad start to the season. The first third of the season, a little bit better these last couple weeks, but he's taken another step back, unfortunately.
And, I got a flyer on Cam Smith. I really like his game. And then the other guy, I actually had 2 others, but the one I bet on was Hovland. But I also think the guy you said, Morikawa and Hideki Matsuyama are 2 other guys that I think could make some noise. I don't know what Matsuyama did today.
Matsuyama shot 1 over. He missed a 3-foot putt on 18 for birdie and ended up shooting one over. Schauffele's 1 over.
That's another one that's my guy.
Tom Kim's 1 over. Spieth and Thomas are both one over. Yep. So, I mean, there's guys within striking distance. Like I said, I do think Rose will pull back a little bit and Scheffler be one of those guys that goes and hunts them down.
Well, let me go back to what you just said. You were talking about Spieth, okay?
Yeah.
What in the world happened to Jordan Spieth, man? What happened? I thought he was the next thing after Tiger and them, the way he started off his career. Wow.
Well, yeah, he won the Masters 10 years ago as a 21-year-old. Right. The problem is, Jordan Spieth's problem, in my opinion, is between his ears. Quite honestly, he's just trying to be too perfect. Okay. Sometimes you just got to go out there and let it rip, and you got what you got. And I think the last couple of years, he's had some injuries with his wrist.
Yep, that's what I thought.
Yeah, he's got some injuries with his wrist, but you can see when he starts to play well, it sort of snowballs. It compounds itself out there. He's not able to put it behind him and sort of move on to the next hole. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad he's right there, not right there. I mean, he's 8 shots back, but it's only day 1, so
he had a point in time where he was in contention every weekend almost there for a while.
Yeah,
had a great season, and then it seemed like halfway through the next season or so, he was never in contention no more, shooting the plus numbers and stuff like that. So, I enjoyed.
He didn't know what he didn't know. Yeah, he didn't know what he didn't know. I think back then he made every big putt he had to make. Going back, 2015, 16, 17. I mean, he was, top golfer in the world, but he's definitely lost his way. And with the Ryder Cup coming, I don't think, unless he pulls something together here, he's not going to make that team on merit. Right. And I've had a hard time, if I'm Keegan Bradley, picking him as an alternate, the way he's so inconsistent.
They're going to take Kim instead of him.
Tom Kim.
I like him. Just Tom from Kim's, watching him on the.
Tom Kim plays for the Korea though.
Oh, he's playing. All right, I thought he might have just been one of those American Koreans, but okay.
Well, at least in the President's Cup, which is USA versus everyone but Europe, he played for
okay,
if you will.
Okay.
So, but you got Thigala and Finau. I think those guys have passed.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So.
Yeah, I just seen Kim in that simulated thing that Tiger and them are doing. That's where I've seen Kim, and I got to know him because you can get so personable with the guys on that show versus watching them in the PGA. You get to see their personality a lot.
Yeah.
And to get to see them play as buddies, not competitors. So I kind of like that simulated thing a little bit. It's grown on me. I didn't like it the first time I watched it. What do you think?
I was all ears because, like I said, I've been playing in the simulated winter golf league the last couple of years. So it's not quite that nice, but it is nice. It's kind of like us going bowling on, we got a couple adult beverages there to sip on, and you're playing Pebble Beach on a Thursday night with the boys. It's kind of nice. So I've really enjoyed that. But I got a guy I'm looking out for this week, kind of a dark horse. I don't think he's going to win the tournament, but I look for him to make the cut and be on that leaderboard on Sunday. Is a local product, Denny McCarthy. You guys familiar with Denny? Denny grew up in Tacoma Park. Okay. Went to University of Virginia. Was a hell of a. I think he might have went to Sherwood High School actually.
Okay.
in Montgomery County.
Montgomery County.
But yeah, he's lost a couple. He's lost a playoff. He's kind of choked out a golf tournament. Victor Hovland stole from him 2 years ago. He's on the cusp of winning, a golf tournament. He shot 1 under today. He is one of the top 2 or 3 best putters on tour. I mean, it looks different when he putts, which is, watching these guys putt can look like paint drying, sometimes, but it's different with him. So keep your eye out for Denny McCarthy this weekend and root for him because he's a local boy.
Okay.
All right. Let me hit a comment or two real quick, Jack, before you ask your next question.
Sure.
Sam R says, tomorrow you're going to go to work and tell your work wife you can't have lunch with her no more because you're a loyal man. Well, you became a loyal man after watching the Thursday night Throwdown. This dude is crazy.
Sam.
J-Dub says, what's up, fellas?
Hey, Jackie.
And then Sam comes back with, what I've learned here is never talk about your bets. Maybe this time I'll win. Yes, sir.
Losers never talk about their bets. So Keith, you got what do you know about the amateurs that are participating this week? Is there a particular amateur you think might be high amateur?
So yeah, I mean, the guy I liked is the guy from Arizona State. His name is Jose Maria. For his last name escaped. He did not play well today. But no, not Olafable. He is a Spaniard, and he was really really projected. He played with Scheffler and Thomas today, sort of as the top amateur. He got to play with the defending champion, and he kind of was like 5 over after 3, and he battled back and ended up shooting 4 or 5 over par. But that's the kind of a guy I had on the Arizona State product.
Yeah. Okay.
Sam says that's cool, Jack. I won't mention Duke.
Sam.
Ouch.
Hey, Sam's an equal opportunity ball buster. So
there you go.
You might catch shrapnel too, Keith. So don't worry about it.
I'm all right. I can handle it. I can definitely handle it.
You mentioned the name earlier. I got to ask a question about him. And it's Finau.
I like Tony.
I keep waiting for him to make the next step. And he's almost like that. How do I want to describe it? It's like when you see a girl, you think she's cute, but she just is not cute enough. Like she's like okay cute, but not like fine cute that you will go and ask out.
No, I'm with you. And he's flashy. He showed up in a few big spots, and that's how he's kind of made his name up to this point. But yeah, I mean, you're right. When it's really time to put the peanut butter on the bread, he struggled. He struggled. He's got an interesting golf swing. I think it's when he gets it in the groove, he's in the groove, and when he gets it off, it's like a Lamborghini. Either runs like a top or it misses, and it's all it's kind of like his golf game. So when it's all turned on and it's wound up tight, he's in good shape. He's not the best putter in the world, guys, honestly. So he's got to hit the ball closer to the hole than others to really make a lot of birdies. Yeah, because he doesn't roll in a lot of putts.
Well, what do you think about? And this is just my opinion from what I've seen from golf so far this season. McElroy being the hottest player so far, with 2 tournament wins under his belt already. What do you think his chances are? I got him up on my list as well.
Well, when he made the turn today at 4 under, I loved his chances. So I've been on an emotional roller coaster with Rory his whole career because Rory's just, he was a heel to me for a while, and now he's, I guess, since he kind of stood up to live and was the face of that, and he took a lot of shrapnel, for speaking his mind, I've sort of gravitated, to him. But the 2 events he won were premium events. He just won the PGA down in Sawgrass, just 3 weeks ago. So he hit the ball in the water twice on the back 9 today and ended up shooting even par. So
yeah, that's what I was looking for. I was like, I didn't know he shot that bad on the back.
I went to dinner. He was 4 under. Came back 45 minutes later. He was even par.
Yep, I see it now. Damn.
Here today, gone today.
That's what I say. That Augusta. I mean, that's just
Augusta.
how Augusta is, especially on the back with the hole that's behind you, amen corner and all that
Amen
stuff.
corner.
It's just
They weren't bad shots. I mean, he spun it back too far, went in the water, and then the next hole he hit it over the green and chipped it just a tiny bit too far, and it continued and went in the water.
Wow.
It's about missing the ball in the right spots. You can't attack these pins. There's some you can attack. You just can't. You got to leave the ball on the right side of the hole, or you're going to make bogey a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We had that moment with the year that Tiger stole the tournament when everybody went in the drink late because he didn't outplay anybody down the stretch. They just gave him the tournament.
2019.
Yeah. It was crazy. Two people go in the water. I think they bogey the next one, and it's like boom. He just plays right through it, and it's good to go, and steals a W.
Yeah, he didn't make a huge charge. I think he shot just one under on the back and parred the last 4 holes. He just kind of cruised it, and just didn't avoid it. He was the only one that avoided the big miss, made the big mistake. So
now that we finished or put round 1 in the books, I always wonder this because it seems like the board changes day 1 to day 2. Maybe that's just in my mind, but I think we lose a lot of guys. Like I can see 5 guys in that top 10 that's not going to be in that top 10 tomorrow when we finish up day 2. I don't know exactly who they are, but it just seems like that's the par for the course for Augusta. How do you feel from day 1 to day 2 in the leaderboard?
So I think a lot is going to depend on this rain. So the guys that teed off early this morning are going to tee off late tomorrow. So has the rain come through? Is it gone? Has the wind blown a little bit and dried out the golf course? It's like I really think Scheffler set up well because he played early today in pristine conditions, really no wind at all, and he may get the right side of the draw tomorrow by playing a little bit later in the afternoon. And the rain's gone, soft conditions. He hits his ball in his fairway. Gets it close to the green. He's gonna make a lot of putts. So a guy like Rory teed off late. He's gonna be one of the first tee times in the morning. If the rain's coming through like they said, he's gonna have his umbrella out. He's gonna be wet. It's gonna be cold. We'll see how some of these guys respond. It's gonna be survival of the fittest for sure. Like I said, I think like you said, Midnight Rider, I think this leaderboard's gonna have a whole lot of change to it for sure.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yo, we got 24 minutes on golf. We can keep going.
Yeah,
I can talk golf all day and all night. To be honest, this is like Christmas morning for me today. To be honest,
this is perfect. You made a comment, and I want you to kind of break that down for the people that aren't golf fans. You talked about how a golfer goes out today in the morning and then comes back tomorrow in the evening. Kind of describe what the point of that is for people.
Well, it's just that's how golf tournaments work. So just to try to even out the weather and the time that that people get to rest and things like that. So if you teed off first, on Thursday, then you're going to be in the last group on Friday. You know what I mean? So it just gives you an opportunity to hopefully play under, almost opposite conditions and just even the playing field just a little bit. And it's luck of the draw. It's just like NASCAR when you do your practice, when you do your qualifying. Is there rubber on the track when you get on there or not? It's it's that type of a situation, and that can make a big difference. In the break that you get, is your draw for a golf tournament for sure.
And then also tell our beautiful fans about the weekend. How does it get seeded up, or how do you pick where you are in the draw, and when you tee off on a Saturday and a Sunday?
So they'll take the top 45 in ties, right? And then you'll be seated as twosomes, and you'll go out in order of worst to first. So that final group on Sunday is going to probably go out around 3:30 somewhere in there, maybe 2:30 because it gets dark a little earlier. And then bring it home and usually have a great Masters finish. There's no more aesthetically pleasing golf tournament in the world. One thing unique about the Masters, guys, is that it's the same golf course every year. Unlike the U.S. Open, the British, the PGA, they change around. So us as fans, I know these holes like the back of my hand. I've never been there, but I've seen them, all on TV. When they go to Turnberry and the U.S. Open goes to, British Open goes to Muirfield, and the other places, there's no St. Andrews. There's not much there, but there's like an investment here because you've seen this over and over. Yeah, on Sunday those pins are going to be right where they're supposed to be, and it's just like sitting in your most comfortable, lazy boy. It's just right where everything is.
So I know it's Thursday night, okay? I know it's Thursday night. I know we still got several days, but with
a lot of golf, 54 holes left.
With the lead sitting at 7 under,
yeah.
What are you expecting the cut to be Saturday?
That's a good question.
+1? Right now,
even or +1, even or +1.
Second place. Would you
even
say what?
52nd
second place? 45?
45 in ties, yeah.
So if that went today, it would be +2.
Yeah.
+1, +2.
I think even +1.
So
I think that's somewhere, just because the weather is a really big question mark tomorrow. If we knew the weather's going to be identical today, I think it would be, because the golf course is starting to firm out and balls are starting to roll out. People are starting to put the ball in the water. I mean, things chipping the ball in the water. Like, I don't think that's going to happen tomorrow, But when you hit the ball in the rough tomorrow, when you hit the ball in the rough and it's wet and you're not going to be able to control the distance, you're not going to be able to control the spin, you're going to leave the golf ball in places that you don't want to leave it. And that means bogeys and double bogeys, because the par putts, you can chip it up tight 4, 5, 6, 7 feet. You're not going to make them all. Nobody is.
Right.
Because these putts are out, you guys have played golf. These putts are outside the hole. Two holes worth on a 4-foot putt. That's a lot of break, So you're not going to make all those putts on these fast greens, even though they're the nicest greens in the world. So
drive for show, putt for dough.
That's it. 100%.
So isn't 7 under a pretty big number for the Masters?
Oh, he's not far off the opening course, the course record at 7 under. Yeah, I mean, he played his hind parts off for sure. And I love Justin Rose. I'm happy for him. Again, he's slept on this before, and he hasn't responded well. It's going to be an ultimate test for him, to get some good sleep tonight and wake up tomorrow ready to go. I mean, again, he's a guy I admire the most. He didn't go to college. He turned pro at like 15 or 16 years old in the UK.
Oh, wow.
And missed cut after cut after cut after cut after cut, and clawed himself, turned himself into a high quality major championship golfer who was deadly in that Ryder Cup. He's one of them, like Ian Poulter. He's one of them guys, even though he's older, they got passion for their country, and he's a problem, in those types of events. So let's see how he handles, the weekend. Obviously, he's got, no need. He's not going to miss the cut or anything like that. Let's see if he can shoot 1 or 2 under tomorrow, and he's going to be right there in the last group on Saturday for sure.
It's funny you say that because he did get out to a great start. I think he was at -5 or so through 10 or something like that. Is what I heard on the radio, so I heard it in passing. So I know he got out early good.
Yeah.
So, but it's funny how this course, again, that back half is just its own beast, its own animal, and that right.
Amen corner. You got it. You got it on the screen yourself. I mean, that's where this tournament will. You can lose that tournament right there. You can't win it, but you can put yourself in position to win it. You can certainly lose it. Yeah, he bogeyed 17 or 18. Rose did kind of haphazardly. Actually, it was like
18.
18. He bogeyed 18 and was sort of unforced too. So we'll see how he's gonna remember that for the rest of the night as well.
Yeah, definitely. No, I pulled his card up, man. He threw 7 birdies up there. I'm sorry, 8 birdies up there.
Mm-hmm.
And finished 18 with that bogey. So
wow.
Yeah.
A lot.
Go ahead, Keith.
He played great. A lot of little kick-in pars too, not like stressful. So I mean, he was chilling. He played really, really well. Let's see if he can keep it up. A lot of times these older gentlemen, like I said, he's 44, 45 years old. That wisdom is beneficial, but also those young nerves are also are something he doesn't have anymore.
All right. So do you consider Justin Rose a bomber, or is he just a? Okay.
No, he keeps it in front of him. Tries to stay out of trouble. Great around the greens. I'd say top half of the tour putter. He's not an elite putter, not Denny McCarthy or Oberg, but he's not hurting himself there too much. So yeah, he's he's a great dude and a really consistent player, and he's an all-time great. Really, he's a Hall of Fame player, I think, in my opinion.
I agree. I see he birdied 2 of the par 5s and parred the other. These par 5s, are they? I don't know if this term's right, but are they eagleable?
They're all eagleable.
Yes.
That's really. Yeah, I mean that's the risk reward with Augusta, especially the 2 par 5s on the back 9. You know, they're reachable in 2, and you can leave it short in the water. You can spin it back. Rory McIlroy hit driver 7-iron in one of those par 5s a day.
Woo!
I think Scheffler was on in 2, and then did a 3-putt. So he putted like me. He did a 3-putt and
like me.
And got in that par. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you got to birdie the par 5s.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Every guy that walks off when he's interviewed, they talk about the par 5s. Because the par 3s are hard, the pin locations are tough. The par 5s, you got to get them. Some guys are laying up to have an easy, 80 yards in or whatever, if that's their game, to touch and still need to birdie those par 5s for sure.
That was always Tiger's thing. He was always dominating the par 5s because he knew if he could get those, everything else he could kind of deal with.
Manage. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, nobody birdied more par 5s at Augusta than Tiger Woods, that's for sure.
Sam says golf is just another game, different ball, hustle hard. Sideline t-shirt idea.
Nice.
Here's what I'm gonna say. I think the biggest difference, and you guys can give your opinions on this, but as a sport, I think golf is the one sport your athleticism can't help you. Like you just can't be fast and play well. It makes every man equal in some regards, because you can't be faster than me because it doesn't matter. If you're stronger than me, it matters, but it don't matter because I can shape my shots. It's one of the sports that I think it takes athleticism out of the ball game and puts it purely on your shoulders.
I mean, for me, I think it's a very athletic hand-eye coordination that's athletic in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, you can swing as hard as you want, but if you don't know where it's going, you can have the highest ball speed, that you want, but if you don't know where it's going, but there is an incredible athletic attribute and mindset, I think, to golf. I mean, is it football or basketball? It's not, but it's a game of mental aptitude and understanding your limitations and what you're good at, and really, I was taught to kind of play golf like I play pool, a shot ahead. Right. I don't just want to be in a fairway. I want to be on the right side of the fairway because the pin's over here, or there's a tree over here. There's so it's a thinking man's game with high end coordination, like I said, at a premium. Yeah, and if you're in a gym and you've got a strong bottom half and you can create torque, and that's athleticism, in my opinion. So I think you're, I agree with you halfway. How about that? It's not as, athletically demanding as some of our premium golf sports, but premium, athletic sports, but it is needed to be good at this game. That's for sure.
That's a good answer. I subscribe to the shit damn fuck method, because either shit.
I go to the I suck at golf method.
I go damn it, Keith. That's what I do.
But one more from Sam. It looks like they even 3D scan a golf player and tweak how they twist, just like baseball players swinging the bat. Yeah. I have the worst backswing, but hey, it works for me.
The technology in golf, the last, every year it's pretty amazing. I mean, it's the golf ball, the clubs. I mean, that's why, Augusta a couple years ago, they had to buy land from the adjacent country club that they're up against so they could take the 13T and move it back 70 yards because the damn golf course ain't long enough.
Yep.
So
the evolution of the equipment, man, is so fast now. It used to be every couple years new technology comes out, man. Technology comes out a couple times a year. Yeah. And I bought a new driver, spanking new, probably 5 years ago. I got the M4, and there's probably an M12 by now.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
But it ain't got that many licks on it, so it's still a good driver. So I don't care. But back to athletic ability, that's what I thought my first time ever playing golf. I didn't play golf, Keith, till my late 20s. It was when I was starting to get banged up and tired of playing all the sports, the softball, the football, the basketball. And I was down Solomon's Island. My boy Rob said, "Oh, yeah, I forgot we playing golf in the morning." I said, "I ain't got no clubs." He said, "I got clubs." So the next morning, we wake up after being out all night to play, I think it's called Bay Hill. No, it's not Bay Hill. That's over here.
It's in Arnold. Bay Hill's in Arnold.
Yeah, no, not it's Chesapeake Hills in Lusby.
Okay.
Down near Solomon's Island. And we played there. And it's got one of the longest par fives around. I'm going to say it's 600 some yards. And so I get there. I'm like, "What's up with the clubs?" And he hands me this bag. I'm like, "God damn, man, how old are these?" Then I look at the side of the bag. It says Wooten. I played my first round of golf with Coach Morgan Wooten's clubs.
That's crazy.
Wow. No lie.
That's a great story.
Joe Wooten was at Rob's house a couple weeks before that and left the clubs there because they had to put coolers in his trunk. That's how I got to play with Morgan Wooten's clubs. And I told him that at East Pines Barbershop when I ran into Coach Wooten one day. I told us I played golf with your clubs. He said, "What in the world do you mean you play golf with my clubs?" And I told him that Joe left them. And I thought athletic ability and my baseball swing would handle it. And I shot a 118 my first time. Mm-hmm. But all the guys said 118 wasn't bad for a first timer. So I stuck with it. And I'm still high 90s. But it's just fun. You get that one shot that just gives you that bam, and brings you back.
Brings you back.
It's the stripper effect.
100%.
You like that? Effect. That's what I call it. It's like you can play bad all day, but you get that one lap dance that makes you happy, put a smile on your face, and you're ready to come back. So it's just the beauty of golf. I know, and I was going to ask you guys this because I know we all have. You have a shot that you remember.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Go ahead. You want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
So we'll probably get into this on a different show, but I worked at Lake Arbor from 1987 to about 1981, like during my high school years out at Fairmont. And I became very connected with some of the localized gambling scene, if you would.
Well, Lake Arbor, that's a gambling people.
The DC area was a hotbed for hustling and gambling golf.
Yes.
It's a mecca. And I was a part of a couple hustles where I'm sitting, I'm on the range in my cut off jeans and it's a setup. Guys are coming from New Jersey and it's like, "Look, I'll take White Boy on the driving range. We'll go out there and handle you boys today." And we had a match. It wasn't my money, granted, but there was several $1,000s on the line. And the 18th hole at Lake Arbor is a dog leg right with all water, and there's a cart path. It's basically dog leg left. And there's a cart path that runs. On the other side of that cart path is a hill. So I hit my ball straight out in the fairway, but it ran through the fairway onto the cart path. Well, there's no real logical place to drop the golf ball being no closer to the hole, right? Because I'm going to be up on the hill, right? So I had it. So the guy I was playing with, Bama Slim, he was a manager of Women of the Night down in D.C., if you will. That was his thing. He was a big time hustler. Him and I were partners. And he said, "You got to hit it off that cart path, period, the end." It was about 160 in. It was probably, 7-iron for me. I had some brand new Ping Berylliums, the copper joints. And I knocked it on the green and 2-putted, and we got out of there and escaped catastrophe. But that's probably the shot I most remember for sure. And then the second shot I most remember is a shot I didn't hit. And that was when I was playing high school golf, and we were down at Robindale. Down there off, I guess that's Mattawoman Beantown Road, right there. And I was playing a kid from Crossland, and we only played 9-hole matches back then. And the 9th hole was a par 3, and I already had dude beat dead to rights. But we got on the tee. You're going to finish. You ain't just going to walk off the course, So he hit the ball in the hole, and we're the last group, so everyone's congregating, partying. When he hit the ball right in the hole, and I was like, everyone's going crazy partying. I'm thinking to myself, I already got dude beat, so I don't know what everybody's celebrating for. It was a nice shot. So halfway through, my coach Ralph Payton, I don't know if you guys know who Coach Ralph Payton is, was a longtime football coach at Fairmont Heights. Rest in peace. He was the golf coach at Fairmont. He comes walking over to me. We're walking up to the green. He's like, he thought I lost. He didn't even know. I'm like, dude, I had him closed out on 7. We're good. So that's a shot I remember that I didn't hit. So those are people my 2 favorite for sure.
You got one, Jack?
Looks like he's froze up.
Yeah, no, just sitting here thinking about it when you guys was talking. It's got to be one of them is over at Gunpowder, which was one of my learning tracks. But I forget what the hole was. It's the one you got to go up this hill to tee off. You got to walk up this little dirt path to a par 3 that's down.
Okay.
I'm not sure what hole it was. It was probably $110, $115. It was a short one, real short. So I hit a shot, man. And like I said, you're already elevated. So I'm looking up at the shot. It just seemed like it took forever to go down to that green. And all of a sudden, I hear all this noise. I'm like, I got hole in one. So I thought I was hole in one, man. I run down. I fall down the hill. End up damn near underneath the golf cart, man. And the elbows is bleeding. I'm like, come on, let's go. And they jump in the cart, and I'm yelling, come on. We get to the green, and I'm like, what's up? There's a big old dent in the lip of the cup. Big dent.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, I hit the lip of the cup, and it hit the pole. The pole kicked it off the damn green. That shit's over in the rough somewhere. Closest ever I had a hole in one, and it wasn't even finished on the green.
Yeah.
That's one of my main ones.
I've hit the pin before and the ball has gone out of bounds, unfortunately. Like hit the pin, ricocheted, Glendale back 9. I think it's number 12, 11 or 12. Hit the pin and hit the cart path, and with a great golf shot, end up with a penalty shot.
Mine ricocheted off the corner of the cup, the edge, the lip, and it just bounced backwards into the pin. And I'm looking in the cup and I see the cave in there, and I'm like, where the fuck is my ball at? And but other than that, I think 6 feet might be the closest I landed on a par 3. I've been closer on par 4s with approach shots and stuff, but that was it, man. I do not have a hole in one in my bag. Do you, Keith?
I have one hole in one, number 5 at Rocky Point, 2012. Rocky Point's a Baltimore County golf course in Essex.
Took you a while to get it.
It took me a while to get it.
Yeah. You've been playing since, say, 1980.
Yeah, I've been playing since 79 or 80 for sure.
Wow.
We got our nugget for the night. Just remind me about that.
Okay.
Hole in one nugget of the night.
Nugget.
Okay. Gotcha. There you go.
I think mine was, where were we? We were at some public course in Fairfax. My second shot goes and I'm behind, like there's a bed of rose bushes kind of circling the thing, and I'm behind the bush. And it's either chip backwards to get back in the fairway and then go forward, but that's not my style.
Right.
Go ahead.
I'm not retreating. I'm not going backwards.
You're not retreating.
Sideways.
This is why I don't understand soccer, because I don't believe in retreating. So I just go. I figure out. I just put it in the far back in my stance, hit it right over the tree, over the little bushes. It lands. It's like a little chip in putt it was a gimme.
Nice.
And it was one of those days that I was hitting it everywhere but the right place, and that was my stripper moment. Made me feel love, and I came back the next week
and brought you back.
You might have said a bad word in front of Keith. Do you believe in gimmies, Keith?
I do, because the way I play golf now, like I said, I don't have many friends that are as good as me in golf, quite honestly. So when I go out to play golf, we're having adult beverages. Mm-hmm. We're out shooting the shit. I'm not taking it quite as seriously. I mentioned that simulation league that I'm on. There's some really nice players in that league, and I strap it up a little bit. I'm a +1 handicap in that league, so something I take a little more seriously. I think I'm probably a 7, 8, 9, 10 handicap in real life these days, because I just don't play enough quite as much.
Got it. Now my buddy Nick Catucci, his dad was a diehard golfer. Don't you even mention the word gimme. Oh yeah, it's short. Put the handle and the grip and all them measurements you're supposed to use for gimmies. Pete said, "No, sir. You don't put it in the cup, you don't get the score."
Yeah, but there's people that play it. Some people play it down. Hey, you're not even, if you got a bad lie, you got to, play it where it lies. My old man's thing was he'd give you the putt, but if you putted it and missed it, you missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That was his pet peeve, and I lived.
I agree with that one.
Yeah.
If somebody gives you one, but you still want to hit it, then that
put it in your pocket. Put it in your pocket.
I agree.
I like that. Yeah. Our man Sam Morris on the road tonight. Next on Thursday night Throwdown, bass fishing. Sam, he must have missed. No, hold on. He missed it. Like, what was it? 3 weeks ago? We talked about fishing on Sunday. I
can get a fishing show going in a minute, Sam. I'm the best of the best.
Then he says Tony Soprano played golf. He never had the makings of a varsity athlete.
That wasn't playing golf. That was a meeting.
Exactly. Good golf movie worth watching. 2023, The Long Game. Dennis Quaid. Anything final on golf? Period. Before we get out of here, I wasn't expecting this much on golf, but anything is.
Hey, I like fishing. I reeled you in. That's all.
Well, I like the movie Bagger Vance, and of course, I like Tin Cup.
Dude, that movie cannot come on and I not watch it.
Yeah, they're
I've seen that movie. I've seen that movie probably 12,462 times. It's like it literally, if I'm turning the channel and I see him in the dark and Bagger walking towards him, and he was like, "How are you walking in the man's shot?" or whatever he says, and he's like, "Well, you ain't gonna hit it straight, so I ain't worried about it." I love that movie, man.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So you boys want to make some predictions here before we wrap up the golf segment?
Sure. Yeah, and I will record them.
So let's take Scheffler off the board just because he's the number one, he's been the number one player in the world for 3 years, and, he's got a great chance to win. But anyone not named Scheffler, I'm looking at Oberg, DeChambeau, and a long shot. I don't think he'll win, but I think I hope he's in the mix. I think he can be in the mix because he puts the ball that well, and that's our local boy, Denny McCarthy.
So you're McCarthy and Shambo?
Yeah, I mean, I got a side, I got a side of McCarthy, but I'm really thinking Oberg and Bryson. They're my main course.
Okay, where you got Midnight Rider?
Well, I gotta go somewhere where my money is. So I'll definitely go on Cam Smith.
He's there. He's right there. He's one.
I like Hovland. Hovland's in -1 as well.
Yeah.
And it's just something about Morikawa's game, man. I just love the way he plays. Those would be my three. So Smith and Hovland would be my main course, and Morikawa would be my French fries.
Yeah, I have a lot of shares in Morikawa, but I'm gonna lay off him for.
So Cam Smith, that's the guy with the mullet, right?
Yeah, Australian dude.
Yeah.
He's been on Live, and he's kind of been out of form ever since. Like a lot of guys have gone to Live and have a hard time with the shorts and the Bruno Mars blasting in the background to get their shit together when they get in these majors. Other than DeChambeau won U.S. Open last summer.
All right, I'm gonna go with Jason Day is who I like.
Nice.
I like Jason Day a lot. I remembered watching that one tournament he was in where he had that bout with vertigo. I've had that, man. That ain't no damn fun. I couldn't imagine being out at a public event going through that. That's some scary shit. So that's the reason I like following Jason Day. And he's a winner, man. And then I don't like this guy, but I just feel he's due to be up top. And Patrick Reed. How do you feel about Patrick Reed, Keith?
So Patrick Reed's won a green jacket. So I think he'll be, an ancillary factor on Sunday. He's going to make the cut. He knows the course too well. He's right there. I don't think he's in form to maybe win the golf tournament, but I do think he'll be right there in the mix on Sunday for sure.
And also
he's an interesting name. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Jack.
Okay.
Because he was around after he won it, but he always kind of stayed around the top afterwards. But he's an interesting fellow.
He's a dick.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, he got caught cheating and stuff. Yeah. I mean,
and he was a dick to Tiger, man. When he won his first tournament or second, early on, he's talking about, I'm better than all these guys. I'm Patrick Reed. I'm better than I understand having confidence in yourself.
right.
Because I was a cocky bastard too, but
No, I would never have thought that, Jack.
But Patrick Reed's just an arrogant. I don't like him, but I think he might be able to make a run. And the guys I'm talking to right now too aren't at the top of the leaderboard right now, so I'm expecting somebody to come from 5 or so back.
Fair. I think that's fair.
And it can happen in 3 days, especially if weather's involved, like you said earlier.
Yeah,
right. And that's the thing. If you
Jason Day, Patrick Reed, Bubba Watson.
The one thing I hope we don't get to is enough weather where we're going to play this lift, clean, and place game. Where you get to pick up their ball and wipe it down, and I think that would change the whole dynamic of the golf. I mean, that would be a last resort kind of thing, like to avoid finishing on Monday or something like that. But with plug golf balls, because that would suck. You wouldn't being able to clean it and place it, and that's a different dry it off. It's not wet anymore. So we'll kind of see how it shakes out. So yeah, it's anybody's game. Like I said, anyone there, up to 2 over, I think is within striking distance can, make a big move here, Friday and Saturday, but we'll see how it checks out. Hopefully we can have a follow-up call and do a nice little review of the tournament.
Well, let's see what Sunday looks like. Either Sunday or Tuesday.
Well, Sunday, he's in travel Sunday.
Right?
I'll be driving back from Winston-Salem on Sunday.
Right,
so we can do something Monday or Tuesday if you want.
So let's do Tuesday for sure.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good to me.
Jack, you call it. Where we going?
Let's go. Baseball.
All right, we're talking.
Ain't much on the slate today, so let's just get through that, and then we can wrap up with basketball playoff situation.
All right, so right now we're 2-3 weeks into baseball. Today's slate, I think it was 6 games on the slate.
Yes, sir.
5
are complete. 1 is playing now.
So now is Atlanta versus the Phillies.
Correct.
What's the score on that?
I don't have it.
Okay.
Earlier today.
I can get it.
Go ahead and get it while I'm running through the scores from earlier today. Earlier today, the Angels beat the Rays 11-1. The Guardians beat the White Sox 6-1. The Royals beat the Twins 3-2. I really think the Twins was going to make a move this year. I know it's early, but let's see what them Twins can do. The Rockies defeated the Brewers 7-2. The Blue Jays and Sox were tied 2-2 in the 8th, right before showtime. So I got that. The Angels today, Keith, their bats was just jumping. A gentleman from the Angels named Joe Adell hit 2 home runs in 1 inning, and 3 players for the Angels hit 2 home runs today. Joe Adell, Taylor Ward, and Mike Trout hit 2 home runs each today for the Angels. What you got, Midnight Rod?
So Joe Adell has been like the prospect they've been trying to get up, and in his first 2 times up the last 2 years, he's kind of come up and they've either sent him back or he came up and didn't have great numbers, but he played the whole year because Trout was out and missed long periods of time. So to see him actually hitting the ball out of the park is cool. It's amazing because I think I've been waiting on him to do something like that for about 4 years now.
Okay. Is he the guy who was pitching and then they went to outfield?
No. I don't think he got the pitch.
Okay.
I could be wrong on him, but I think he's always been an athlete. They've been howling him since the day he got drafted. So
he's still down pretty far in the order. Looked like he hit 8th today.
Yeah,
he's hitting 226, so he needed today for sure.
Hell yeah, probably put him at 300 right now. Shoot,
yeah. No, he had 5. I think he had 4 or 5 RBIs on them 2 homers.
He had 4.
I watched a little bit of that, and also just a little bit. I did end up having that damn tidbit. Damn, in minor league ball this week, a gentleman from High A, Wisconsin team, Amarian Boyd. He stole, what did he steal? 6 bases without a base hit. Check that out. It's only been done. What? It's the first time in the past 20-some years it's been done. He got a fielder's choice, a base on ball, and a hit by pitch. He took second and third each time. So I thought that was impressive news.
I like the way he thinks.
And then
if you hit me, I'm taking second and third. If you hit me.
Well, he got hit last, so they were probably pissed at him taking second and third the first 2 times, so they throw beanball.
This Guardians game was interesting because Stephen Kwan, who's not much of a power guy, hit him a home run today.
Hey, the Sox.
The Sox have been playing good ball. And then the kid that doesn't matter. The Sox have been playing good ball this year. And then the kid that Matty Ice talked about, Manzardo, he got him a home run today. I like that kid.
What'd I do?
I don't know. Oh, you put the overlay up.
Shit. I did it on. I don't know how to fix it.
All you do is click back on the overlay and you'll be fine.
Midnight Rider, the Sox are 2-10.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought they were doing better than that. Maybe I just kept seeing they only saw their 2 wins.
Maybe
they were okay.
Boston. No, the Red Sox are 7-7. They're playing 500 ball right now.
Okay, my bad, man.
No,
you know why? I thought maybe it's because who they beat. I don't remember, but yeah. All right, hold on one second. Let's get this. This is of all time. There you go.
What's up, Jack?
Yeah, he's back.
What's up,
Jack?
Jack?
Put himself in a bigger window.
Where you want us at, Midnight Rod? I put us there.
I got you. Just stop hitting buttons.
Hands up.
Yeah.
I'm just learning how to control the studio. And honestly, I picked my notebook up, and I guess my notebook hit up one of those. You can do quick tabs or something. So yeah.
Okay, Maddie. The Guards swept the White Sox to right the ship. The White Sox are a very bad team. I thought they were, but maybe it's because they beat 2 teams I didn't think they were going to beat.
Yeah, they still.
I thought they had turned something around, but they I'm cool with that. I know Philly and Atlanta are there in the rain delay. So I don't know if they're going to try to get that in or not.
Okay.
KC, Minnesota, did you talk about that?
I didn't throw no info about it. I just posted the score.
All right,
the only
so
game I seen today was the Angels.
So KC 3, Minnesota 2. Decent ball. Looks like the starter went 6. 1 earned run for the Twins, for the Royals. Waka.
I like Walker.
Yeah, nice player.
5 1/3, 2 earned. Nothing crazy. Bobby Witt.
I didn't see nothing crazy. Anything else?
And then the Rockies beat the Brewers. Nothing really serious here. Brenton Doyle did get 5 RBIs today. So, but if I put you in a room with Brenton Doyle and a name tag that said Brenton Doyle, you probably wouldn't know who he is.
Who?
Exactly.
Who is this?
When I walk in the room, they say, who?
All right.
Well, the A's are on track for a June groundbreaking. I don't think we have discussed the groundbreaking was set.
What's groundbreaking for June?
Groundbreaking on the new stadium
In Vegas.
1.7
so we did get that through. Okay.
33,000 capacity that should open in 2028. They're currently playing in that AAA ballpark in Sacramento.
Right.
So they're going to be there for at least 3 seasons in the Sacramento joint, unless they figure something else out. I still can't get over the A's are in Vegas, man. Oakland A's, man, been around forever. So
iconic Bash Brothers and Tony La Russa and
Ricky Henderson.
Yeah.
And then
Dennis Eckersley.
What you got, man? What you got, Ben?
I was gonna say Ricky feels like Ricky's the best player to ever play baseball.
And nothing wrong with that.
Ricky's
Wow.
the greatest third-person talker I ever seen, dog.
You should feel like that. All ballers. And then we talked a little bit about that roof collapse at that nightclub in the Dominican Republic. Well, we talked about that ex-player.
Octavio Dotel.
And then Pedro Martinez has family that's missing in that. There's been 221 people killed, hundreds more are injured. So this all happened at the Jet Set nightclub in Dominican Republic. Jet Set. That sounds like a club I'd go to.
Dominican's been in the news for all the wrong reasons here.
Really have. And it's messing their tourism up, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that was a place I was wanting to go, and a couple of my friends went there for their honeymoon, said it's amazing, but you got to worry about people around there a little bit, man.
Getting to the amazing and getting from the amazing is stressful. At least it was for me when I was there.
Was that right? Yeah. That's basically. I mean, it's the same thing when I went to. I don't think it was Cozumel. It was Costa Maya, Mexico. Man, we got off the boat. Man, they had AKs and shit, and they were on guards. I'm like, where are we going? Back on the boat, baby. Yeah. I mean, if they got dudes with assault rifles, as soon as you go on the boat, do I want to go here?
Yeah, I like going to the resort towns that kind of police themselves. Everyone there works in the resort industry, and they if someone's out of line or doing crime, or they, look, you're messing up for all of us here. They
self-police.
Cancun's got its own problems, but they're very efficient in that way. They really try to, citizens arrests, if you will.
Mm-hmm. It's something, but and that's that's just some of the updates I had on the baseball world. Midnight Router. If you got anything else, I'm ready to listen.
I mean, the Nats just came out, took 2 for 3 from the Dodgers, or 2 of 3 from the Dodgers.
I can't believe that.
Well, I mean, the Dodgers are banged up. They got like 12 pitchers on the IR or the IL right now.
Was this in Washington or LA?
It was in Washington.
The Dodgers had jet lag. That's what happened.
Ain't jet lag.
The whole ACC West Coast travel thing too.
They were just hungover from visiting the White House. That's all.
Right.
That's right. That's right. I forgot.
It was a series where you saw a glimmer of James Wood, and I've never seen a guy that big not pull a baseball. And the second he learns to pull a baseball, what's the guy Howard that used to be back in the day? Where they had all the seats up in the top. When he learns to pull a baseball, oh my God. But this dude hit one out, I think it was 2 nights ago, left center. If it was hot, like the exit velocity was like 109. So it's just like, yeah, all right.
Guys, did he come over from the Soto trade?
No, he's been in the farm system.
He's been in the farm system, so he was drafted.
No. Wood was part of that.
Wood ain't homegrown?
Nah.
I don't think so.
It was Wood. Yeah. It was Wood, Merrill.
Well, he's the next guy.
Arcina, and I think those were the 3 players they got out of that deal. Yeah.
From the Padres.
I'm thinking of Taylor. Did you have an outfielder named Taylor?
So
Michael A. Taylor
was there for a long time. He's in Chicago now. They also have Darren Baker, Dusty's son, but he's not going to be anything. But they got a group of outfielders. The Nats are probably 6 deep at outfield. Wow. You just got to figure out who's the guy to stay and who's the guy to trade, and pick the right one.
Right.
Yeah. It's almost like if you remember, like 90s Braves, where they had Ryan Klesko and those type of guys all around
David
the same
Justice.
Yeah. And then you got to figure out who's the one to stay and who's the one to trade to get you the better products. Baltimore is in that situation and will be in that situation in probably the next 3 months.
Was Murphy still playing then, or did he retire in the 80s?
Murphy was
70s, 80s.
Yeah.
I liked him. I liked Dale Murphy back in the day.
this might have been like right after Brian Jordan or right around Brian Jordan, Klesko, Jermaine Dye, Tony Tarasco was in that group. So they had a squad of outfielders, and you just had to figure out who was the guy to stay and who was the guy that you was going to put in that deal.
Who was the death outfielder they had?
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I thought he was local.
Yeah, he was. He played like 2 or 3 years, and then he went to the Royals afterwards.
Right.
His name is going to escape me, and then I'll be in the after show or like walking around the house, and I'll remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this 49-year-old brain don't work the same like it used to.
You keep running with it, I'll find
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, this like that old Coleco vision right now.
Nice.
All right, man. Let's get to the hoops real quick.
All right.
Before we get out of here. Around the Hardwood NBA Chatters, our segment.
Curtis Pride.
Curtis Pride, yes.
That was his name.
He played for the Tigers.
Yep,
for the Tigers
too. Yep.
Yo, I'm telling you, all you gotta do is say the name. It'll load up.
Oh, we'll get it.
How KG said, it's like that old Chevy that you gotta let the motor oil run through the engine a couple times. Yeah.
Gotta pull the choke on the carburetor a little bit.
A little bit. But last night we had Luka go back to Dallas.
Yes,
Scored 31 in the first half, in with 45. They did a nice tribute to him.
Nice.
Any thoughts? I mean, because Dallas, after that deal came out, they just folded. They totally went all kinds of directions. AD gets hurt within the first 48 of being there. Kyrie tears his ACL. Of course, last night, Nico Harrison was met with the "Fire Nico" chants.
Nico.
But I was happy for him because he was in the building.
Yeah, but he was hiding in that tunnel, though.
Man, I mean, that's straight malpractice to me. I mean,
yeah, I agree.
I mean that yields an investigation, in my opinion. I mean, I
tampering.
It sounds like Luka had some John Wall on him. He was hitting had a problem with his weight and was hitting the club at the Rose Bar.
I remember those days.
But Luka's still on a different level. He can still bring it to the court every night. So unlike John Wall, who didn't have the consistency, obviously.
No, definitely.
But to just outside, I mean, I follow the NBA, I follow the Wizards, but not the NBA close as you guys, but kind of outside looking in. When I first saw this trade, I was, I fell on the floor. I mean, I couldn't.
Oh, I seen it.
It didn't make sense to me.
It was probably 12:30, 1:45 when that shit struck, man.
Yep.
Sharma, I get alerts from Sharma all the time.
Right.
And damn, I want his job. He's got the coolest job, man.
Actually, you could do it because you are up all times of the night, but I don't know if you want that stress.
I know, right? But,
well, I mean, Woj handed it to him. I mean, he was an insider, and then Woj goes to St. Bonaventure to be the GM, as on the water, and then Sharma gets all the nuggets these days. He sure does. Adam Schefter, the NBA.
He really is.
Well, that also stemmed from their relationship before at Yahoo Sports, because Woj and Sharms was at Yahoo together, which made it natural for when Woj decides to move on, Sharms gets right into the next spot.
Falls right into it.
It took a while for Sharms to grow on me, man. I didn't like him at first. It took a minute, but
he's a little rigid. He's not quite as polished. I get that, but he kind of just goes right to the facts.
Yep.
And there's not a lot of gingerbread, on his delivery, but I think he does a good job.
Yeah, no, he's my guy.
And then what was it? 2 nights ago, we had Luka get kicked out of the game for talking trash to a fan, and the ref with his sensitive ears kicks him out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, even John at the ref in the first half. So, in my opinion, if it didn't start nothing, it wouldn't have been nothing. So,
right.
If you wasn't in the ref's ears, like all these damn crybaby NBA players and college players are. And I go out to rec and travel games of the youth leagues, And I see the same stuff. They get teed up like crazy in youth, though. And that's what they got to start doing to them more in the pros and in college. If somebody goes to the hole and makes a hard bucket and then turns around, sir, where's the foul? You need to tee them up. I'm sorry. You need to tee them up. They'll stop it. Because it just makes the game look like a bunch of crybabies, man. Every time somebody touches them, they want to foul. These boys couldn't have made it in the 80s, man, basketball. They couldn't have. They're marshmallows. They're soft. I mean, I like some of the newer rules, like giving a shooter room to land. You know, that wasn't a rule back when we played. I land on people's ankles all the time. It hurt.
Yeah, but you never got carried off in a wheelchair because of your ankle rolling.
They was just taking care of the prize ball player. They was not taking no chances. So stop with the wheelchair cracks.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that the crab step and the Euro step and all the
it's walking.
This ball handling is insane, but it's carry. I mean, it's
Curry.
It can be hard to watch. I mean, obviously there's some elite guys out there that these guys are freak athletes, and I will say that they're jumping higher and shooting it better than ever. Right. So you can't take that away from them. But I do think some of the fundamentals and the spirit of the game is nowhere near what it used to be, in the 60s, 70s, and 80s for sure.
Agree.
You want to take a look at the playoffs? I mean, we know the East is pretty much done.
All they got to do in the East, they're trying to find out the seedings for Boston and the matchup. I'm sorry, for Boston. It's the bottom, right above play-in. So they're trying to find out who might be matchups for 1 and 2.
Yeah, Orlando, it looks like Boston's going to play Orlando, Atlanta.
It does not matter. It does not.
No, I know it doesn't matter, but I think that's what it's.
I'm just flexing. I'm flexing my Celtic pride.
Yeah, it's good to see Detroit. It's good to see Detroit as a 6th seed. They've been a habitual.
They were up at 4.
Bottom feeder. Yeah, I mean they're 43 and 36.
Yeah,
this year,
the problem is they're so young. They're another team where they're too young to know what's wrong, but they just don't. I don't know what it is about them. It's something I just don't like.
They got a big man and they got Cunningham. I think they just need somebody to distribute the ball around this offense.
No, I think this is a regional. I think they're making a step. You know what I mean? I think these young bucks are growing. I mean, just think of Cleveland 2 years ago, where they were about here. So I think their front office is doing a good job. And like you said, with Cunningham and some of those other young boys, I think they're going to be in the mix here moving forward. I don't know if they'll win this, get out of the first round this year. But I think you should give them their props for taking a nice step from being first, second, a top 4, 3 or 4 pick habitually every single season here the last 6 or 7 for sure.
Yeah, no, having Orlando and Detroit in the mix is nice. I said that the other day. It's nice to have new blood in the water.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like they were much higher, both of them, and they dropped tremendously. But that could be second half of the season getting a little tired. But I do like these young teams like OKC. Them are some fun young boys to watch. And I think that they're one of the youngest teams in the league, them in Washington. So,
I mean, OKC's got a 14-game lead. I mean, they're just
I'm scared. But I think we're better than them, too. I think Cleveland played over their head this year. Their last 20 games has not been as good as their first 60. So I'm serious, man. I see Cleveland laying a dud in the playoffs, maybe second round.
Samar says, hold on, let me go back to the first one. Luka was focused that night. He said, F the trolls and the refs. This is my house, used to be my house, but I still visit. He's going to be one of the great ones.
I like that.
I like it. Good one, Sam.
And he said, shout out to Reeves and Rui, though teamwork makes the dream work. They were jamming.
Reeves is nice, man. He can
score. He started as a joke for me. When I first season, so. I was like, I was always hyping him up, but I was doing it as like being sarcastic.
Being KG.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was like, no, this kid can actually bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So midway through that first season, I was like, no, he can bowl. So then, just became a fan after that.
He can take over the offense if, say, Luka or LeBron are having problems. He can take over. He did it in their absence.
Yeah. How's Rui been this season?
He's been doing well later in the season. He's the 3-point spot up sniper for them. And if you come out too hard on him, he'll pump fake and go to the hole and dunk on you. So Roy's doing okay over there. They need a big man. They need a real big man. That what's that boy's name that's playing center for y'all?
The Jordan Claxton kid?
Nah. Oh man, what's his name? You know who I'm talking about. You're a Lakers fan. Finney? Ain't it Finney?
You talking about Dorian Smith-Finney?
Dorian Smith-Finney.
Is he a center?
Nah, he's a wing.
Huh.
He's more of a forward type.
What is that?
Jackson Hayes.
Yes, Hayes. They need a center, man.
All right. I give my 6'10" athletic, I can't shoot but dunk only guys mixed up. So I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, that's Hayes. He's lob only.
Yeah, it's Lob City for him.
But the Lakers are sitting in the number 3 spot as of right now. Well, they're probably tipped off if anybody's playing today. They're doing it, but they got 2 games left against Houston and at Portland. Both of those games could be trouble for the Lakers. They ended up splitting with OKC the last 2 games. OKC rested their players in that first game, I thought. And then you got the Nuggets, Clippers, Grizzlies, and Warriors all right there in the midst. One game can drop them 4 spots. So it's really tight in the West. I don't think they're going to have their seedings down until the last of these games are played. And everybody
It's only like 1 game separating them.
Huh?
It's like 1 or 2 games separating 3 from 8.
I know. So, and then, you got the tiebreakers that are going to go into effect once the season ends and they're all tied. Because I think I heard the Nuggets don't have a tiebreaker over anybody.
That's crazy.
Right now they're tied with the Clippers, but I think the Clippers are a higher seed than them.
What was the story about firing Malone?
Something ain't.
Did you guys talk about that on a previous show?
We did, but we'll engage if you want to talk about it.
No, I just want to know what the backstory was. Did they won a championship and almost won a second one? So I just wonder, that seemed to turn pretty, turn sour pretty quickly.
So the speculation's been, he has a propensity in his press conferences to call out players.
He don't care
during the press conference. So that's one thing. So guys think he rubs guys the wrong way.
Hit him with the Jay Gruden. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Another one was him and Booth were in it over Westbrook and his playing time. So Westbrook plays more than some of the young guys that Booth drafted. So Booth wanted to see his guys get in more, and he wanted to stick with Westbrook. And I think 2 of the games they lost, Westbrook was the contributing factor. So that kind of was a thing. So that's kind of where we got to some of this.
I'd still roll with Westbrook.
Okay, but I'm just saying that's just the story.
I'm saying that. Me. Go ahead, Keith.
No, it's a bold move, obviously, to fire a coach right here before the playoffs start. I don't know. I don't know who their assistant coach is, but this, I feel like this is going to be one way or the other. Probably won't stay medium. They're going to either get a jolt or turn down the other way for sure.
No, I totally agree. I think this is one of those situations where, because I forget the guy's name, but it's Kroenke's son. He felt like they needed a jolt, and that's part of the reason why we got here.
Yeah, I think Denver's guy that's running is Edelman. I think it's David Edelman is the
that sounds right. That sounds
intern coach for them. I don't think he's nowhere.
Because I saw Rick's name in some of the stuff, and Rick is the guy, the long-time Portland coach. I think David is his son, so that sounds about right.
So I think he's just going to be an intern. I don't see him being considered for the job. There's too much out there that I think Denver could pick from, and they got to get a GM too. So Denver's got a lot of work to do.
Could Malone be somebody the Wizards target here this offseason? Because Keith ain't making another offseason. I can't see that.
I think he makes it another one because they aren't there yet. I think you give him another year, let him eat some losses, because you're not going to bring him alone to take another 45, 50 losses. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, even with Flag, I think if they don't catch magic in the bottle, you're not going to get that team that's going to be like 42-42. You know what I'm saying? 45-37 or whatever it is, however the math works.
So they're not ready for Malone.
So yeah, I think you get another year, and then maybe Malone. What's the guy that was at Memphis? That got fired as well.
Right.
Those are the guys. Those guys are a year away.
Well,
I think you need another year developmental.
That Memphis guy got canned while they was in third place.
Exactly.
I didn't. That's even something I couldn't understand more than this Denver move.
Yeah, that's true.
But the NBA, it's about the players. And the second you rub the players the wrong way, your job security becomes insecure.
Agree.
Yeah.
So yeah. We teed up a segment last week. We called it the Jack Nuggets or Jack's Nuggets. He says it's deliciously good.
Sound right.
You titled this. I didn't.
That was KG.
Oh, so KG did this. Okay. The nugget I had, because we were talking golf. I know it's not Jack's nugget, but Alex Ovechkin, the first time he played golf, he went out and hit a hole-in-one.
What?
Yeah, his first time the first 18 holes he ever played, he had one hole-in-one. Yeah, it's on video too.
God.
Yeah, he says I scored.
That's a good one.
Like he no golf terms at all. It was like I scored a ball or something crazy like that. Is what I remember the soundbite saying.
Did he hit it like Happy Gilmore?
No, he just stood there and swung. Yeah.
I want to see Happy Gilmore too, man. I'm not big on sequels, but I want to see that one.
All right,
that was a good nugget there. Let's back it up a little bit and go back to NBA for 1 minute. I want to discuss the Rookie of the Year talks.
Okay.
And right now, it's not as runaway like it's been with the past several Rookie of the Years. You know, Wemby. Who was before Wemby?
I can't think of the next guy's name, but
anyway, but the recent MVPs have been pretty known and high numbers. These numbers here, the one guy is from Atlanta, Zachary
Richache.
Richache. We like talking that French shit, man. Richache. And what's your boy's name? Chabanet.
That's funny.
So he's over there in Atlanta. He's doing well. I love watching the young kid play. He's explosive, averaging 12.3 points a game, 3.6 rebounds, and 1.3 assists. Not really booming numbers for a Rookie of the Year. And then you got the boy Stephon Castle over there in San Antonio. Richache was the number 1 pick in last year's draft, and Castle was the number 4 pick in last year's draft. Castle's averaging 14.6 points. I think he's getting about 5 rebounds and not many assists. And then you got Alex Sarr, Midnight Riders guy. I don't have any stats on him, but I think he's somewhere in the ballpark of 9 points a game, maybe 4 rebounds. That's what I think.
You want to around him for his rebounding. Go ahead.
From watching the box scores this past year when I check in on Alex Sarr, but I don't check in on him often because, like I said, I think he was a wasted draft pick by the Wizards. I think Stephon Castle should get MVP. I mean, get Rookie of the Year this year. So that announcement should be coming sometime during the playoffs. If I recall,
Alex Sarr is 13.1 points and 6.5 rebounds.
Wow, he went up. He went up since they started retooling things. Okay, so he's got more points than Richache.
2.5 assists. Yeah.
The only thing that's been happening with Sarr is he probably hasn't played many fourth quarters
enough games
the last 2 weeks or so because they want to waste no chances on being good enough or to put themselves in position to do anything of winning, like any winning. You know
They
what I'm
want to
saying?
stay in them last two spots. I mean, I don't know if they're going to end up in the
And
bottom.
they really want to. I mean, the unfortunate thing is Utah got beneath them, and Utah also is doing everything in their power not to get above 2. So it's almost like
Utah got a lot of players out too. Marketing's out.
right. But it's just one of those things where it's like, no, you go first. No, you go first. Type of thing.
Yeah, you're right, Midnight Rider. Yeah, Sarr only averages 29.3 minutes per game in his last 10. So he's not playing.
Are you on Are you on team rankings or what site are you using?
I'm just on ESPN. I clicked on the standings and clicked on the team and then clicked on his stats.
Yeah.
So it just gives me his last 10.
I like doing
per game. Yeah.
I just don't think I mean, I hear his numbers, but I don't think Sarr is going to be high in the conversation. I just don't.
I've heard him as 2. I haven't looked at the betting things, but I've seen him as 2. And we saw Shea as 3.
Who'd you hear as 1? Castle?
Yeah.
Castle 1, yeah.
Castle's going off at like minus 700 or something crazy like that to win the award. Like it's pretty much his award unless like he doesn't exist on this earth anymore. Like, and even still they give it to him.
No, I think he earned it.
But this has been an underwhelming class in terms of like impact. I mean, we're talking about a guy averaging 14 points as the rookie of the year. That's not a great impact. Normally we have guys scoring 20, 22, something like that. That's the guy that we look at as our rookie of the year. So that's also a thing about this class.
He's got Trey Young over there. Trey's getting the shots.
Yeah.
But I mean, we saw this in the beginning. We kind of knew this is what it was going to be. And that's why everybody was waiting for this class to come out, because this class was the more dominant class. This had the stars. Okay. And then next year has the next group of stars. Oh, I see a comment. Let's hit that, and then any thoughts? Let's go there. Mar says Stat Muse for stats. I'm gonna check that out, Sam. See what that looks like.
But I tell you, when I heard Keith talk about you just went to ESPN, that's what I do. You gave me that website you were using a while ago.
Team rankings.
I tried it. Yeah, I went with it, but I went right back to my ESPN because I'm more familiar with it. I can get the stat or the game or the standings really quick. You can get depth charts. You can get injury reports. You know, I like the ESPN app, so I went back to that one for looking at my numbers.
I was using Bleacher Report for a long time, and they changed their format, and it's hard to dig out the stats, with just a few clicks. So I've reverted back to ESPN, and the interface seems to be better than it used to be, how I remembered it. So I'm sticking with that for now.
All right. So Caps are now up 3-2 as long as the goal stands on the Hurricanes. They were down 2-0 after the first, but they've worked their way back into it. No OV
they don't have many games left either, do they?
No, they're down to like 2 or 3 ball games themselves.
Right. Basketball always usually on the same time.
Yeah.
82 for both of them.
So, as we always do at this part of the show, it's wrap it up. Any notes, nuggets, thoughts, or anything you want to get out before we get out of here? We got.
No, I'm just gonna real back to the golf. Just shout out to Bernard Longer, who's 66 years old, playing in his last Masters. He's a fellow champion. He was under par there to start the day. The things got away from him. He's still, very respectable 2 over par. So just a shout out to the old German Bernard Longer. He's a class act and a good dude, and he's played a lot of good golf for a really long time. So
he's still dominating on the senior tour, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I recall that.
It's his last Master, so I just we'll throw his name out there.
Man, did you see what's his name? Trevino? Is Trevino the Black Knight?
No, the Black Knight is the South African dude.
Who? He played
Gary Player. Gary Player
played yesterday in that par 3, man. 80 some years old, and I'm telling you, hit the ball, swung the ball, loose, flexible. I was amazed at Gary Player yesterday. So
He's 89.
I told you, yo.
He's always been
89.
like a health nut, like his whole whole entire life. Eats well and takes care of himself, and very flexible. 89 years old.
Yeah, they tend to live more than us.
And real quick, Tom Wilson just knocks in another goal. So now we're at 4-2.
There we go.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Good.
Jack, anything else you got besides that?
It's gummy time.
All right, I don't have anything else. Ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, thank you for Keith Hodges. Definitely have you back Tuesday.
Yeah, thanks for having me, boys. Appreciate it. Anytime.
Yeah. Definitely have you back after that for sure for something else. We'll find a reason to have you back.
I want to get him in the passenger seat.
Oh, I want to talk. I want to talk Commanders. I got a little wish list for the Commanders and Jaden Daniels. To be honest, I mean, he's a phenomenal player, but I think he could unlock an extra part of his game with sort of that under center boot action, sort of like block 30. If he unlocks that in his game, he will be absolutely unstoppable, more than he already is. So that's sort of on my Commander wish list. I hope he's working on that this offseason.
Can definitely bring you in some football season stuff too, Keith. You're part of the family now, man. You're a junkie, so
there we go. Let's bring it on.
He's close. He gotta get a name first. He can't just be Keith Hodges. We gotta give him a name.
We'll work on that.
Then he's good. We ain't had no name for you back in the day.
Everyone just called me Hodges. That was it.
Hodges, that's right. We just called him Hodges back in the day.
So we can work on a play on that. We'll figure that out.
We'll work on that.
All right. Yeah, he didn't like Guru or Expert. He didn't like that name.
Nah, that's all right. But no, I enjoyed it, boys. Looking forward to doing it again next time. Thanks for having me. It's a great show.
Nah, man, we appreciate you being here, man.
All right, let's wrap it.
What is this? Keith the Speed? Nah,
that's dumb.
I ain't subscribing to that. No, I ain't having that.
All right, guys.
All right, have a good night.
For Keith Hodges, for the gentleman Jack, I'm the Midnight Rider. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the sports world. Have a great night and a good evening. If you haven't yet, hug and tell your loved ones you love them. And good night, folks.